Hey everybody, DDD Designs here. Today I submitted my build for the winter build contest for Keen's Enshrouded, and I was pretty quickly getting questions like, "How? Could you please show us? Where's the water?" So here's here's what's here's how it works. I already have this in the sample, so if you were to download the build the build file that I have in there, then you'd see it. But so basically, a wall goes here to close up this chamber. So we'll just pretend there's a wall right here running across this. Um, I left it off there because I want to make it easier to get in there. So this is one of the arches like you'd have up there at the top, and so I'm just gonna crawl down or crouch down. Now you can see there's a water barrier going across, and that's the key to it. Is you want the water barrier to be just below the brazier, so that when water flows through this hole here, it goes and extinguishes that brazier, but can't go down below the water barrier. Otherwise, you'd have water pouring out the arches, and that would make a mess, and it wouldn't get very far on the timer if it's losing all the water out the arches. So water enters from a neighboring chamber or a pipe. The initial part of mine actually is a big chamber up above with a whole bunch of like 27 or so, I think, uh, water sources, and that's overkill. Really, it could be a lot less. Um, anyway, you just have a bunch of water sources dumping water into a big tank, and then that tank funnels in over the top of this section of a chamber here. Let me just highlight the section really. So basically, from this point to no more than this point is where you want the water to kind of dump in from above into your first chamber, and then it'll go in, it'll fall down, and go underneath the water barrier, and then it'll go over the water barrier and through the hole and extinguish the brazier. And then after it's done that, after that brazier's been done or been extinguished, you'll see that this wall goes up higher than that hole there, and that's important. You want to keep it up higher, and then the water will then flow into the next chamber and repeat and do the same thing. It'll go over the water barrier and through the hole, and then into the next chamber, and then into the next chamber, and into the next. And as long as you keep this wall higher than that, you'll get one at a time. Now, there's parts where I have, for my demonstration purposes, because I didn't want the judges to have to sit through a full hour of the timer, I went ahead and I placed in blocks like this just to fill it in and make it way faster. So instead of having to fill up the whole bottom section, it's just got to fill in like a voxel or two deep of a chamber before going across. So if you look at what I've got up in the build up there, that's why it has so many of these pieces in there. But in my regular mall where I have the Resource World DDD Designs Mall, um, it's it's not it's not like that. It's almost an hour, and the point of it is it's a 1 hour reset on the server, so you can kind of look up at the arches, see how much, kind of figure out how much time you got left. Look as you come in, like, oh, okay, I got plenty of time, or oh, all the lights are out. I better hurry up and grab what I need and get out. But that's what the whole timer's all about.